you've been playing chess any length of time, you know that sometimes you're playing above your troop playing strength. And this is an example of that. I am playing a national master, which means this is someone above 2200 in, classical over the board chess. I am not that strong of a player. My rating at this point was over 2200, but that's actually, I was just really on a hot streak. So, how do you beat someone who's a little bit better than you? Sometimes you have to take some risks. So that's what I do in this game. I play the Scandinavian defense, which is not the risk because that's a normal opening. That's d5. He takes, I take, move the queen, develop some pieces. I attack his queen. I know that he's going to not allow that. He blocks with the knight, and then I swing the queen over. So this is an attack that I like to do. I have the bishop, and then the queen attacking that knight, making threats against this knight's pinned down just in case he wants to get fancy and move it. I would take his queen. He just protects it. So I've moved, my queen a couple times. He's moved his bishop a couple times. I develop so that I can get my dark squared bishop involved in the game. And he attacks my bishop. This is the fine move. Normally people will retreat the bishop. The problem would be here is, if I was to retreat, then he can't do that yet. Then, you can see the evaluation bar go way up. He could castle, and, if he castles here, then at some point he's pushing that pawn, and I'm going to be in trouble. But in the game, I just leave the bishop there because he can't take, because then I would just take his rook. So this diagram is just telling you that I am obviously attacking the king side, right? I have the queen attacking, I have my light square bishop attacking, and now I have my dark square bishop attacking. So I would be perfectly happy if he castles king side because that's where I'm attacking. So he actually obliges and castles king side, even though that's where all my pieces are. The idea that now he can take the bishop because, now there's no rook to take. So in this position, I could take the I could take the knight, but then I just get in trouble because once he takes back, now he is attacking my queen and he's attacking the pawn on b7 and then would be able to take the rook in the corner. So instead of taking the knight, I'm sacrificing the bishop. And you can see the evaluation bar does not like this because it's not actually a sound move to make. The reason being is that in this position, a very easy answer for white is just to go knight to e5 because now the bishop's attacking my queen. The bishop is still hanging on h3 and I'm in a lot of trouble. I could try to move my, if I go back here to h6, then obviously this bishop can get it. If I try to move up, he can swing his knight back. Oh no, it doesn't like that move. What can he do here to attack? Well, he could just take, right? Yeah, he could just take. Either way, that's potentially not the best move, but I wonder what the best move is. It doesn't matter. Not a good position for me, but again, you got to take some risk. You want to beat higher rated players. You can do it by playing sound, logical, strategic chess, or you can just go for it, see what happens. So in this position, instead of doing what he should have done, he actually takes the bishop, and then I take back with the queen. So I've sacrificed my bishop for 2 pawns, which is okay. He's up +1 in material. You can see the +1 here, and he's up +1.4 in the evaluation. So I am losing, which is not good. But this is the problem that my position can present for my opponent, is that he has to make the correct moves or else I can gain an advantage. And so bishop to g5 is probably considered a blunder because now I'm going to hop that knight in, and this is just showing you that I am obviously attacking that h2 square with everything I have. I have not moved my 2 rooks or my other knight, nor have I castled my king. This is not how you're supposed to play chess, but whatever. He brings his bishop back, which actually makes his position worse. I don't know why. I think maybe he was thinking of moving the rook over, and then he wanted to have this pawn on f2 defended, but that just is not a good idea because then I come in. Again, that h2 square is what I've got all my pieces attacking. He has to move his king. He obviously can't take back with his knight because then he just gets checkmated. So he moves his king. That's forced, or not forced, but he loses otherwise. And then now I bring back my bishop with the idea that I am double attacking his bishop because I have my knight and my bishop attacking. This is a discovered check. So in this position, he has to move his king because again, if he tries to block, I would checkmate him. So I am supposed to take this bishop with my knight because it's supposed to look like this: bishop or knight, and then I'm forking the rook and the queen. He takes back, check. He has to, he can't move his king, so he would have to block. I would go check. This bishop is pinning down the rook, so he can't move his rook out of the way. And then when he moves his king over here, I can take with my bishop. I would be totally winning up 4.8, so that would just be, as long as I don't blunder anything, I would win. That's what I was supposed to do in this position, but I did not make that move because I was looking, that fork that shows up later, I wanted it to mean something. So instead I take with the bishop with the idea that now I can take back, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to get, I'm going to get the rook, I'm going to get the queen if he makes a mistake. So in this position, he has one way to sort of save everything. He does not make it. In the game, oh no, I'll show you what he could have done. So in this position, how does he save? Because, right, so I'm threatening this, that's a g2 is checkmate. So he has to stop that somehow. So the way that he can stop it is actually by checking me. So if he checks me here, even if I block with the bishop, now he can get his queen involved. And, if I was to take, be a big blunder because then he can come in and now he's on the attack. So that would be a way that he could have saved the position. But in the game, he actually sees the attack, and he has a lot of time. You can see he has 2 minutes. I have over 2 minutes. So we haven't used much time. He could have spent some more time to think, but in this position, he actually blunders it all away by saving his queen, moving to queen to d3, which allows a checkmate in one. You don't see people at this playing strength often give up an easy checkmate in one, but again, 3-minute game, anything is possible. So I take him up on his offer and checkmate him. So that is how I defeated a national master by playing some pretty unsound chess. Again, notice that I didn't move any of my pieces. I don't know that I recommend this other than to say sometimes to beat higher rated players, you just have to try stuff out. It won't work some of the time, but some of the time it will. And then you can have a nice victory under your belt. So hopefully you learned something. I hope you can go out there and beat some higher rated players. Not me if I'm higher rated than you, but other higher rated players. Okay, thanks for watching.